Welcome in to day 3 to my Soul Warrior Cleansers, my warriors. So going into day 3, we're talking about the idea of playing around with our negativity that comes up. You guys will see when you watch the video that Ryan talks about changing your voice, using a British accent when you're talking about it. If something negative comes up, what if you talk about it with a different accent? But I want to expand on that too, into playfulness. A lot of times our biggest block is overwhelm, right? Our biggest block that comes up is overwhelm, and this feeling of not being safe when we are in overwhelm. And with a little bit of redirection and repatterning, we can change that thought pattern. We can come up with a new perspective around overwhelm and break it down into small pieces. So today we're going to do a tapping session on overwhelm. So go ahead and take a long, deep breath in and release. Good. And you're going to start right here at the side of your hand, which is called the karate chop point, and you're going to just repeat after me. Here we go. Even though I feel all this overwhelm, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Good. 2 more times. Even though I feel all this overwhelm, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. 1 more time. Even though I feel all this overwhelm, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Good. Take a deep breath in and release. Good. I want to hear from you in the comments. What does overwhelm look like for you? What does it look like? How does it show up? I know that for me and for some of my clients, it shows up in not being able to do anything. So much has to be done and literally stuck or froze and not being able to move forward. Overwhelm can also feel like anxiety. Physically, it can feel like shortness of breath or a pit in the stomach. I want to hear from you. How does it show up? Here we go. We're going to go into our most pressing issue, which is all this overwhelm. So just repeat after me. All this overwhelm. Good. All this overwhelm. Under your eye. All this overwhelm. All this overwhelm. All this overwhelm. Good. Collarbones. All this overwhelm in my body. Good. Under your arm. All this overwhelm. Top of your head. All this overwhelm. Good. Take a long, deep breath in and release. Good. Now we're going to go into some of the ways that overwhelm show up for us. So again, I want to hear in your comments, how does it show up for you? Okay, here we go. I notice that when I'm in overwhelm, it's hard for me to move forward. It's hard for me to move at all. Fear seems bigger. My temper seems shorter. I notice that I'm not able to flow through things. Physically, it feels like a shortness in breath or a contraction in my chest. Keep on going. All this overwhelm in my body. It makes me believe that I'm stuck. I have this belief that if I'm overwhelmed, I'm stuck. I can't make decisions. I can't move forward. All these beliefs around overwhelm. Releasing them now. Good. Take a deep breath in and release. Good. Now we're going to go into up-leveling. We just dove into overwhelm and what it feels like, and now let's turn the tables on it. Let's switch it. Let's use it for power and change our perspective around it. Okay? Here we go. I know that overwhelm is just energy. I am ready to break this down into pieces. Most of the time, when I feel overwhelmed, it's because there's so many moving parts. I have so much to do. So I'm going to break it down into pieces. I'm going to look at my first step first, and my second step second, until I get through all of them. As soon as I take my first step, I have tuned into momentum. Tuning into momentum now. Knowing that even doing breath work to get through overwhelm means I'm moving forward. Good. Take a deep breath in and release. Good. One of the beauties about the belief that comes up that says I'm stuck, whether it's from anxiety or overwhelm, whatever the story is that the moment you look at it, you're in momentum. You're not stuck anymore. So you may have to repeat it 1,000 times, right? But the moment you have awareness around being stuck is the moment that you become unstuck. Does that make sense? So I want to hear from you guys. Post in the comments of what feels hard right now, what's making you feel overwhelmed, what are you allowing to create overwhelm, and what are some things that you can do, what are some steps that you can take one at a time to move through them. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.